This video is sponsored by Nintendo. 6 months ago, Nintendo invited me to embark on a trip to Paris to be one of the first people in the world to play the Nintendo Switch 2. Since getting my Nintendo Switch 2 at launch, I've basically not been able to put it down. It has rapidly become my favorite console of all time. When there's a game I want to play, it's the first place I check to see if it's available. I just love having all of my games stored on one system so I can either play them at home or take it out and about with me. And so Nintendo have asked me to unload every thought I have about the Nintendo Switch 2. So that is what I'm gonna Nintendo Switch do. I love playing in handheld mode. It basically comes with me whenever I leave the house. You never know when you're going to be standing in line at the post office for 10 minutes and have time to catch a couple of Pokemon. Speaking of which, Pokemon Legends ZA launched recently as the flagship Nintendo Switch 2 Pokemon adventure game, and I caught the Pokemon bug. And I'm not talking about Beedrill. The portability of the Nintendo Switch 2 allowed me to pick up the game throughout the day and just make bit-by-bit progress on my Pokedex, slowly catching all the Pokemon to fill it up, which, by the way, I did. There it is. That is one full Pokedex, plus the Mega Evolution Pokedex as well. Pokemon started out as a portable game, and I've been with the series since the beginning, so it feels incredibly nostalgic to just lay in bed at night and play Pokemon like I did when I was a kid. Except this time, the screen is backlit so I can actually see what I'm doing. Whilst we're here, let me show you my all-star team. So we've got Macaroon, Le Parfait. You may notice a slight naming scheme here. Salsa. I've got an absolutely gigantic Dragonite, who I have called Millefeuille. We've got Flumbunculus, which is not a French delicacy, but every Pokemon game since I was a kid, I have always called Alakazam Flumbunculus. Don't ask why, because I don't think I know at this point. And of course, the Foogster. This Umbreon is my little tuxedo cat companion. Oh, and there she is right now. I can't believe they made Pokemon a real life thing. This is the best that Pokemon models have ever looked. I just love how expressive they are. Also, can we talk about the fashion in this game? I have been parading around Lumio City in style. I could learn a thing or two about fashion from my guy here. I like my portable technology to be as large as possible, but just before it becomes unwieldy or cumbersome. It has retained its super sleek form, and it feels like the perfect weight in the hands. It makes playing those cinematic story-based games like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Cyberpunk, or even the upcoming Metroid Prime 4 feel so much more immersive. One of my favorite games of all time has got to be The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The vast world of Hyrule is so incredible to explore. So when I heard it was getting a Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade, I was very curious to see how that would look. And so playing it on the Nintendo Switch 2 has felt like experiencing it all over again for the first time. The game now runs at a locked 60 frames per second, which is so buttery smooth that you could churn it into Hatino cheese. Yeah, it's that tasty. Breath of the Wild just has so many beautiful environments. It has sunsets, sunrises, big green fields, icy snow caps, and the HDR really makes the lighting pop in all of these areas. And the colors just feel so rich and beautiful. Sometimes I forget I'm not actually wandering through a luscious forest, fighting choo-choo jellies and hoping a guardian won't see me. Oh, he has seen me. Oh! Whoa! Got him. Incredible. I'm particularly impressed with areas like the Korok Forest, for example. On the Nintendo Switch, it struggled because of the sheer amount of leafage going on here. But on the Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade, not a single frame drop. And look at those light rays, man. I've also noticed that the loading times are significantly faster, and that's across all Nintendo Switch 2 upgraded games that I've played. I think people know that I am particularly impatient, so I really appreciate that a lot. Going back to Pokemon, I have been dipping into the online battles, and because of the fast-paced nature of the new battle mechanics, you don't want to be slowed down by the performance. So it feels great to have a system that can support you playing with people all around the world and feels almost as if you could be in the same room as them. I am very passionate when it comes to video game controllers. After all, it is quite literally the thing that connects you to the game, so you want it to feel like an extension of your hand. For me, I didn't think anything could top the GameCube controller, but The Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller has taken the crown. It is smooth and silky in your hands, but it never feels like it's gonna slip away from you. No matter how heated or sweaty things might get in a game of Fortnite.
Oh yeah, I'm competitive. Now, I'm not saying this Pro Controller is why I'm so good at this game, but I'm not saying it's not the reason. The last 3 eliminations already. Greetings from the bush. This is going quite well. And that's why fishes don't go on land. With the power of the Pro Controller in my hands. That ain't slipping out my hands. I really appreciate the inclusion of the customizable back buttons. Accessibility in game design is really important because games are for everyone, so having a versatile way to cater to a bunch of different abilities, skill levels, needs should always be considered. I also really like the inclusion of the audio jack input. It means that I can just put on some headphones, game in peace.
When I heard that the new and improved Joy-Cons were going to have an optional mouse mode, it just felt right. The Nintendo Switch 2 has such a wide variety of ways to control your games that I found the mouse functionality to be a welcome inclusion and also very useful.
I find that sometimes when you need a little bit of extra aiming precision, I like just setting my Joy-Con to mouse mode and then bam, doing that. Didn't expect me to have the mouse mode, did ya?
I felt the same way when I got to play the Metroid Prime 4 demo in Paris. Having access to mouse controls is going to open up so many possibilities to game developers. Any games that require selecting things or clicking things is vastly improved by the mouse controls.
So, it is no secret that my body is basically made of spaghetti. So this is one of my many unconventional yet surprisingly comfortable gaming positions. I call this pretzel mode. So I can just chill out with a low stakes game like Animal Crossing, and because of the overhauled redesign of the Joy-Cons, I can basically just sit like this for hours. I would say I have medium-sized hands, so the bigger back buttons feel really great. I think these are just such a huge improvement on the original Joy-Cons. I really love the fishing with the HD Rumble too. I'm usually so bad at the fishing minigame, my responses are so slow, but having that extra haptic feedback really helps you to get your fish on. Oh, look at that. My villagers are celebrating Turkey Day. What up, Groucho? Eric's here. Hey, Eric. Eric's one of my favorite villagers on the island. Me and him are bros.
The first and third party game library for the Nintendo Switch 2 is really impressive. Let's just say if I ever got stranded on a desert island, all I'd ever need is my Nintendo Switch 2. And a generator for power. And a sofa. And a TV. And snacks. What was I talking about again? Because I've gathered such a big back catalogue of games over the past 7 years, I've been able to use the virtual game card system to lend games to friends and family. I remember being a kid and I used to love lending and borrowing cartridges of your favorite games with your friends at school. And so now that we're in this digital age, it feels so good to be able to buy something digitally and then just temporarily lend it to a friend. And even more so, using the game share feature, we can both play supported games together using a shared single copy.
A feature I particularly enjoy is the ability to make groups. I've made groups for cozy games, adventure games, competitive games. So if I don't know exactly what I want to play, but I know roughly what genre, I want to play something relaxing with birds, just go over to my cozy games and play some Wingspan. Or let's just say I want to reawaken one of my old hyperfixations, go along to strategy games, play Slay the Spire or Balatro. This has been so helpful for those nights when you have friends over and you can just open up couch co-op and be like, what do you want to play?
As much as I love individual solo gaming experiences, I do also love to connect with my friends all around the world using the game chat feature. Recently, Sophie's gone to stay with her brother whilst her parents are out of town, and it's been really nice to be able to jump into our Stardew Valley co-op farm and use the voice and video chat features to strategize. And using the screen share feature is a good way to make sure she's not pilfering my parsnips. I know it's a co-op farm, but I planted them and I'm bad at sharing. And then we like to end the night with a round of Mario Kart, which is always a good time because I always win.
Yay!
I keep forgetting that the Nintendo Switch 2 has basically only been out for half a year. I have felt so spoiled because there are so many games to play. I have been playing everything I have mentioned in this video, plus Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hollow Knight Silksong, and a bunch of other indie darlings. And then there's still so much more to come. Many people know that Metroid is my favorite Nintendo franchise, so I am thrilled that the wait for Metroid Prime 4 is over. We've got Pokopia coming next March, which looks like a really interesting combination of Pokemon and Animal Crossing and Minecraft. Whatever they have been cooking up with this game, I am intrigued. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book really caught my eye. We don't know too much about it, but I will be eagerly awaiting more information. The trailer was very reminiscent of some old Yoshi games that are very near and dear to my heart. And let us not forget, the big Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Switch 2 update is on the way in January, which I can assure you we will be fully exploring together in my live stream. And so, those are all my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Have you got yourself a Nintendo Switch 2 yet? If so, tell me what you've been enjoying about it, and let me know what games you've been playing as well, because I'm always looking for new game suggestions. I cannot express enough just how much my Nintendo Switch 2 is genuinely the console I reach for first when I'm in the mood for some gaming. So thanks again to Nintendo for sponsoring today's video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found today's video informative and fun. If you did, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. All right, stay rad everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. I've got some parsnips to go and pluck.